Now, solar is already great for your wallet, but if you could supercharge your system and get even more bang for your buck, wouldn't you? Of course you would. That's why we have Phil Edwards from Jamar Power Systems. He's here to explain smart modules. Good morning, how are you?
Doing great.
Greg, you want to dig into this, and it's very interesting what we've learned about smart modules.
Yeah, so Phil, explain in layperson's terms to our viewers what a smart module is. And I mean, this is the inverter part of it, right? And then there's a module that goes on the panel.
Yes, it's called an optimizer, and we'll just take a little look here. This is an optimizer, and this goes underneath the panel. And what that does is it makes even an average solar panel smarter to perform better. It gives it more power. It allows it to produce power even when there's something that is, say, a minor shading issues going on with the panel. It really makes the average panel better. And then you're also able to do something called panel level monitoring. And panel level monitoring, we'll talk about it probably a little later in detail, but it's very important to make sure you have panel level monitoring on your solar panel, because that allows you to see what each individual panel is doing. This technology allows panel level monitoring.
And so where would this fit with a homeowner that would be an existing solar system with panels that you would retrofit this onto? Is that how it works?
Well, most of the systems that we would put this on is going to be a new system, but we've had customers who came to us where this is the inverter. When this inverter, a different brand, has gone bad, they've asked us to upgrade their system to this technology. And so they have the technology, say, from anywhere from 4 or 5 to 10 years ago, and when you upgrade to a technology like this, you're actually being able to see what each individual panel does. You're able to optimize the system. It's kind of like getting a new engine in your car.
And I think we were talking about it earlier. You can actually monitor this from what, any smart device?
Yeah, any smart device, home computer, tablets.
Your phone even?
If you're connected to the internet, you can see how your solar system is doing with this technology.
So it's kind of the brains of your whole system, and it monitors all the individual panels. But the part that I'd like you to explain is, why would a panel not be efficient at a certain time?
Well, in a typical solar installation, you may have, as the sun travels throughout the horizon, you may have a chimney that all of a sudden comes into play and starts casting a shadow on a solar panel. Or you may have a power line. Or you may even have something that's a little more permanent. You might have a bird do its business on a panel, and you don't know about it because the panels are up on a roof where you're not normally looking at it. And this technology allows you to actually see what's going on with each individual panel.
So it adjusts, like smart adjusts everything so that the system runs at full optimization at all times?
Right. So if you have a minor problem going on with one of the panels that's maybe taking out half the panel, this system will basically trick the entire system into making it think that panel is doing fine. And so then in concert, they're all performing well, so it increases the production of the system.
And you know something else too, we discussed this a little bit earlier in case you missed it. This is for people who maybe haven't had an assessment in the last, say, 3 to 5 years, or they got a lower end panel or a middle of the road panel, but you want that high performance, more power without paying all the money for it.
Exactly. There's some great technology out there that's at the premium, and everybody's talked about it quite a bit. But you know, not everybody goes with the premium panel. So when you have something that's middle of the road or even on the economy end of the spectrum, you want to make sure that those panels, that you saved a little money on buying the panel, that each individual panel is performing to its optimum capability, and you also want to know what they're doing. So if you do have a problem with a lower end panel, you're going to know it, and you're going to be able to call up your installer, and you're going to be able to get it fixed.
So technology has changed drastically in the last few years, and there maybe 3 to 5 years ago people were afraid to go solar, maybe because of the cost or the technology. Now with this system, would it behoove people to take a look again at buying solar because it's much more affordable and the technology is so much better?
Oh, in the last year, the prices of solar panels have gone down. So what that does is, if you've looked at a solar system, say 4 or 5 years ago, and you decided, well, maybe it's not for me, it economically doesn't make sense. Today, you can look at the same house, new technology, and all of a sudden the solar system will make sense for you.
Well, here's the other thing, too. You might be like Greg, where you got solar, let's say, 5 years ago, and now he's had like 3 kids since, so all the lights are on. He bought 3 electric cars. I mean, I'm kind of kidding here, but seriously, people, your lifestyle changes. That's another reason to have you come out.
Exactly. If you want to add on to a system, we can use a much smaller inverter than this, and we can add 8 panels on the system. And we also have other technologies that we can use that we add maybe 1 or 2 panels.
So scale up an existing system when the usage goes up too.
Exactly.
All right, Greg, what are your takeaways?
Well, the takeaways are you have to look at all the different options, because you may not want the Rolls-Royce system. You may want something more in the middle, and you're still getting the performance with this technology for much lesser of a price.
Exactly.
All right, so what you want to do is call now, because what's going to happen is you're going to get an extended warranty and consumption monitoring with any of the panels that we've talked about today, any of the systems that we've talked today. That's a $1,000 value. And you're going to throw that in if you get the panels we're talking about, right, Phil?
Right, a new system using this technology, and we'll put that offer out there.
All right, Phil, Jamar Power Systems, thank you so much.
Thank
Pick
you.
up the
All right, thank
phone
you very
and
much,
call
guys.
them right now. He's going to do a free assessment. What have you got to lose? If you've looked in the last couple of years, look again. It's much more affordable, much more efficient. Use the technology. 333-8662. Thank you again, Phil.